Everyone, Sarah here from the Paper Cut. We are going to be doing our pop-up box card today, which until this morning I totally forgot that I sent Brian and Carol my actual sample. So I started to make my sample and I don't have it totally done. But this is the kit that we're working on right now. So pull out your kit. We'll wait for everybody to get on. This is the kit we're going to be doing. We're going to pop down onto the table right now.
It says comments are not on, Sarah.
Oh, hang on. It says comments are not on, so we might be getting off and then going back on. So don't be alarmed. Just hang on 1 second. We're going to just have this screen looking at you right now.
It says comment moderation not set.
Only followers will be
discussion, only comments on the characters. At least 15 minutes.
Well, if we can't see their comments, it's
Okay, so if somebody can comment, because we're trying to see if our comments are working right now. Otherwise, we are going to get on, my mom's going to get on her computer and see if she can see comments that way. So go ahead, and if somebody can leave a comment, and if you want to pull out your kit that looks like this, and you're going to start getting out, the pieces that you're going to get out are, class special, box 15, 15% all orders on the entire website. So let me take that out of the way.
mine's not showing your stuff.
So if you can get out the card base, and then you do have a packet that looks like this. This you can just set aside for right now. And then you also want to get out your 3 white pieces. And there should be 2 of the small one. And then you'll need your light blue pieces, your dark blue pieces in 2 different sizes, and there are 2 different sizes of your light blue pieces also. So these should be the pieces that you have out right now.
I don't know if anybody can see you. I can't see you on here.
It says, okay, it says that I'm live.
Okay, yeah, it says you're live there too, but I don't see you on my computer.
Refresh it, Mom.
I did.
Okay, so anyways, and then out of this packet, all you will need for now is this piece that has your die cut bubbles in it. So I'm going to have you just punch out your die cut bubbles. This piece is garbage. So you're just going to punch out all your bubbles. Go ahead and do that. So then you also need a blue ink pad, which I said I think I said to get a blue ink pad during your homework. And then you'll also need a blending brush, a stipple brush, a sponge, or some removable tape. So we punched that out. I am going to put my box card base, and I will talk about products while you guys are assembling everything. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pull out my white pieces. So these are the pieces that we're making right now. Okay, they're the white pieces, and I did use this die cut piece, and then I just blended over the top of them. So that's what we're doing right now, just so you have an understanding of what we're doing. I feel in a little disarray this morning, so I apologize for that. We'll get there. So we're not attaching anything yet. So right now we are just doing our brush blending. I did take my die cut piece and I just set it down, and I took a piece of removable tape or washi tape and I'm attaching it to my work surface. And this is just so it stays in place while I'm brush blending it. Okay, so I have that in place, and you can space that wherever you would like. Because we're only going to see this top little bit, that's why I left it totally blank on the bottom here. And on your sample page, if you turn to this page, this is kind of what you're looking at. Ignore that I have extra blue down here. That's just because when I was making my sample, I cut my paper too short. But yours will match layered like this, but you only need to brush blend on one side because you're not going to see everything down here. Okay, so I just took my die cut piece and I punched everything out. I attached it to my table with some washi tape, and I am just taking a couple shades of blue ink. Now it doesn't really matter which blue ink, and you can just use one shade if you want. And then I'm using some brushes. I usually hold my brushes behind the brush head, and I do circle motion on and then circle motion off. Okay, so I'm going to start maybe lower, and I'm just going to blend over the top. Now I am holding my cardstock in place so it doesn't move, and you could have attached that with washi tape also. You can make different areas of it lighter and different areas of it darker. So just kind of do that until you get it however you'd like. You can make some areas a little bit darker, some areas a little bit lighter. And then when you're done, you're just going to pull that piece out. So we have that piece. Right now you're not attaching it yet. You're just putting the ink on your pieces. So we have that piece. And then we're going to do our other pieces. So I like to stick it in there however you'd like. Again, pull up my ink off my ink pad. Hold it in place in one corner, or tape it down, and then just start off and brush blend on. Again, you could use a stipple brush. If you don't want the bubbles on there, you could just color the whole thing. So I am getting notices that people are watching. I'm not seeing too many comments.
Yep.
So I am hoping that you're all just working along and having fun. Remember, this is your project, so if you want to switch anything up, go ahead and switch it up. If I'm working too fast for you, I will be saving this on our YouTube channel, and it will be saved here.
Are you working on a craft mat or paper, Sarah?
I'm just working on paper. Oh, now I see that we're seeing some comments, so that's good. I know you're all there. So good to be back after a little bit of a break. So we have our middle one, and then we have our two side ones. You can do them both at the same time, or you can do one at a time. Doesn't really matter. I find it hard to hold both of them in place, so I like to just do one at a time. Okay, so start off, blend on.
Can they still get this kit?
The individual kits I don't have. It's the the Mega Make and Take through Brian and Carol. I sent them all my kits. I'm not sure how many they have left. So when they run out, when they're gone, they're gone. So go ahead and check their website to see, or ask Brian during the break if the kits are still available. I think they are. And
Are you
again, this will be saved. Another question.
Are you using two colors of blue or just one?
I'm actually just using one. I think on my sample that I took the picture of, I used two. However, I'm just brushing it darker in some areas and lighter in others. But you can even use two shades, like you can use teal and then an off shade of blue if you want.
Another question. What size is the middle white piece? She's missing one.
Oh, this middle white piece right here is, and if you are missing a piece, I can send it, but it is just a basic piece of white. Hang on, I have a ruler here. Actually, I cut, so it's 3.5 by 2 5/8. I apologize that you're missing one. But yes, if you are ever missing a piece, we can send it to you. I am going to talk about the fish later, because you might think that your yellow ones aren't die cut, but those actually weren't supposed to be die cut, but I'm going to tell you why that yellow piece is in there. So yes, if you're ever missing a piece, just let me know, and I have extras and I will mail you the pieces. So we have our 3 blended pieces. So that's all we need. Now we do need to blend. We're going to use this piece. So I am just going to blend on my edges in case, so then I can put my ink away. Because we're going to use this piece, not necessarily the whole thing, but I'm just going to get some ink on the whole thing. And then after that, so I am going to use this piece for the card also. I just thought it made it nice. On the outside I could put one, on the inside I could have the reverse. So I'm going to put my ink pads and my blending brush away. Just kind of set this one aside. And now, before we do any taping, we're also going to prep a couple more things. So in your little envelope, this one, there are yellow strips. Pull those out. And then you also have waves. So you want to pull these 2 wave pieces out. So right now, we're going to put yellow strips all across here. You're going to use, for sure, all of one for 2 pieces, and then this third one just to do a little. Now when I do this, and it's up to you, I like to put tape on the whole thing, and you can just do it and snip it. Sometimes I'll put my pieces next to each other because then I make sure that I have them lined up. And I just attach it. Oops, attach it. And it doesn't matter if it is higher, lower, middle, whatever you want to do. But then I make sure that it's even all the way across or in the same position. And then I'm just going to take and I'm going to cut that. And I'm just cutting them even. It's easier to do it before this piece is actually attached than after. So that's why we're doing this part first. And then we also have one more that we need a yellow piece on. Oops, I've used my too big tape gun. That doesn't work. So that was a 1/2-inch tape gun, and I have both of them sitting here. This piece of paper I think is 3/8, so it's better to use a 1/4-inch tape gun. Now just kind of make sure that it's lined up or in the same position. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a homemade card. So now we're going to get all of these pieces attached to our box. So you have your box. Now you're going to turn it over so you're looking at the tab is on your left-hand side. I do everything upside down, which my son is helping me. We're working on some getting 2 different cameras going so we don't have to move it, and so I can actually do things the right way and don't have to get mixed up. But you're going to put, so your tab is on your left, and you do have this picture right here. So you're gonna set up your box card with your tape tab on your left. Your bumps will be up, okay? And then we're just gonna start layering. And while I can probably tape faster than a lot of you, so I'm gonna talk after I get all of my pieces attached. But I am going to attach with you, but this is what you're gonna be attaching right now. Your tape tab is on your left, your bumps are up, and you're gonna attach 3 teal pieces, or your teal pieces on your background. And then you will attach your bubble pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to turn mine over, but this is what you're going to be looking at as your key. You also have your paper to look at right in front of you. Now, one thing you'll notice is when you do your words, it says this word layer is upside down. So if you finish, you can go ahead and put your words on. If you don't, it's okay, because your words can always be attached later. But I just want to show you when your words are on there, you put them on upside down. Oops, I don't even have mine on there. You put your words on upside down because then when you open your card, they're right side up. Oh, here's my words. Okay, so here's my words, and they're going to be in here right side up, but then when it's flat, they end up being upside down. So make sure to put your words on upside down. So I'm going to tape with you. Now, talking about product, well, all we're doing is taping. This is our pop-up box card kit. This one is called our square pop-up box card kit. It is a square when it is flat. When it is flat, it looks like that with more decorative stuff there. But when it is folded, or when it pops up, it's actually a rectangle. So it does get a little bit confusing. It's the square one, because when it's folded, it's a square. When it pops up, it is a rectangle. So this one, we have just in a pre-cut kit. Each kit, and they're blank, so you can decorate it how you want. Each kit has enough to make 5 cards. So it has 5 cards, or 5 card bases, 5 envelopes, and then it also has the little inserts. Now, in our class kit that we have, there's 2 little inserts for attaching pieces. In the actual package, you do get 3 per box, because you can attach 3. I only attached 2 on this sample, but your 5 count blank kit is 3 per box, so you get 15 of the little inserts.
Melinda wants to know if you have A2 sizes also.
We do have A2 size also, and for the life of me, I forgot to bring up one of the A2 samples, because the A2 samples turn into, they actually are a square. So I do have the packaging up here for the A2 sample. So this is the A2 sample, and when it's unfolded, it is a little square. So that's why it's a little bit confusing, because the square one actually folds into a rectangle. The A2 one actually pops up into this little cute square. So the A2 one, we also have the what am I saying? In the A2 one, we also have the die, so you could cut your own. So in the square one, we only have the paper only kits. In the A2 size, we have the die available to cut your own. So in this, if you do want the A2 die, this is a good time to get it with the 15% off. And right now, going in along the lines of Brian, where people are trying to rip you off, our website, somebody tried to fraud it by trying to charge like 1,100 transactions. Obviously, it was computer-based, and from what they tell me, it's card testers. So the security on our website is set really high right now, where it's not allowing too many transactions per hour, too many transactions per day, and too many transactions per IP address. So if your transaction, and also if nothing matches, or if the street address, the zip code, the 3-digit code, if any of those don't match your billing, it will decline it. So anyways, if you're having trouble on our website, go ahead and copy the basket into an email and just email it to me and I will help you that way. So I apologize, I had to set our settings really high on there because some people, like what happened at Craft Fancy yesterday, have nothing better to do than to rip off the hardworking people. So anyways, so this is the one side of our pop-up box card. I'm going to set that one aside for a little bit. And now we are working on our other side, which is this one. So we are going to need our blue, light blue squares, which you should have 2 light blue rectangles of the bigger size, and then 4 of the little size. You should also have 2 of the dark blue, and then 4 of the small dark blue. Now you can go, so you're actually going to take and flip it over. I'm getting confused, I've got all kinds of pieces over here. So this is actually just we just did this side. And if you take it, and you only have one, but if you just did this side. If you take that side and actually just flip it over, we're working on this side right now. So you did this side, and that has our tape tab on our left and our bumps up. We put all of these pieces on. Now we're going to flip it. Now our tape tab is on the right, and you'll see our indents. This is actually the back of the box card, and then we're going to decorate these pieces. Now I'm going to decorate at the same time as you, but there is a couple prep things that we need to do first. So for these pieces up here, oops, let me set that aside.
Question.
Mary
Beth said she missed something. Are we to cut the yellow strips to fit the bubble panels?
Yes, cut, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Yes, cut, or I think I did say that. Cut the yellow strips to fit on the bubble panels. And I always said that I do it before I attach them, just because then you can follow the edge of the paper. And, or you can do it after, that's not a huge deal. I do sometimes not think about it till after, and I just snip that off as close to that edge as I can. So, but we're turning that over. And that's the prep work that we're gonna do on some of these pieces. So on these 2 upper pieces right here, we're going to attach our bubbles. And you can attach those however you want. Now, I thought I had one of my micro dot adhesive sheets up here, but I don't, or I can't find it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Question.
Patty Sue said, when we look at the screen, is the project backwards?
No, it's backwards to me. So right now, looking at your screen, this is the right way. Okay, so this should be on your right, because if I turn it around, it's on my right. Now I'm looking at it upside down, and you are looking at it the correct way. So this is on your right. So we have this side with our tape tab on our left, and we attached our layers. Then we turn it over. We have our tape tab on our right. And this should mirror your sheet that you have in your kit. So you can always just look at this sheet too. So right now we're on right here. And don't worry, if you didn't attach your words yet, that's fine. And we're just going to attach all the base pieces, and you can do all the fancy little decorating later. So right now we're attaching our bubbles to these top blue pieces. So use glue, use a micro dot adhesive sheet, use a dot roller. I'm just gonna go find a Post-it note so I don't get adhesive all over my,
Penny Clark said she did it backwards.
I think that's okay, Penny.
Oops.
I don't think that that's a huge deal. As long as you didn't flip anything upside down. So depending on how your tape tab should always be at the bottom. Okay, when we fold it, you're just gonna fold it a little bit backwards, so I think that's perfectly fine. So I did put some dots on the back of here, and again, I'm just going to attach this to my two blue layers, however you want. I do leave a little bit of space between them, and then I just place it down. Give it a push, or take a scrap piece of paper, give it a little push. Then I'm going to pick it up, and I'm just going to snip off my bubbles that are hanging over. So I laid my colored bubbles onto my light blue pieces. I attached them with adhesive, and then I turn it over. I have no idea where we're at with time. 10:30. We got a half an hour. Well, I don't know what time I'm technically supposed to end, but the next one doesn't come on until 11. So I think we're doing good.
Okay, question. To order the A2 pop-up card, what section would it be under?
Okay, good question. The A2 and the square pop-up box cards are under, if you go to the left-hand part of our screen, it'll say bulk papers, slimline cards, sale items. Go down to die cut cards and kits. And then when you open that up, I think it says die cut or card kits. I don't know, I have to get there right now actually. So it's on that page, it's on one of those pages. And so anyways, you're finishing that up, and then you can go ahead and I'll get you the exact location in just a second.
I think Melinda, I think, posted it on hers.
Melinda, thank you, Melinda, you're on it. Die cut cards and die cuts and kits, and then under card kits, and then die cut card kits. So it is on, you do have to go through a number of different steps to get it to it. If I would have been smart and on the ball this morning, I would have put it all in one folder, but I didn't. Sorry. Anyways, you're going to take your yellow, and I put tape on the back of it, and again, I'm just putting my yellow across, and I attached it. Now I'm just going to trim my yellow. So, but thank you, Melinda, for linking. It's hard for me to do while I'm demoing, so I appreciate that.
And I'm not as familiar.
Yeah, and my mom, you probably did it lickety-split. It would take my mom a little bit to get there, but she will eventually. So anyways, so we have those two pieces prepped, so that's good. Now we're going to prep our other two pieces with our waves. So we have our waves, and we pulled those out. So these are our waves. Now you're going to have extra waves, which is a good thing. I just snipped off the ends. Now the waves, I did use a different wave die than is on your pictured sample. So your waves are slightly different. And that's just because I had one die that was fairly dull when I was doing these, and then I ordered some more dies and used sharper dies, and they're just a little bit different. So I apologize, your picture looks slightly different than the actual waves that you have. Now, you can either use this part of it or the upper part, okay? And likewise, on the little one, you can use whichever half you want. So I did layer them like this, with the little one in the front. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can layer these two buggers together and then attach them to your strip, and you can put them as far up or down. Well, you can only go up about that far, but if you want your waves to be lower, which I think I did want them a little bit lower because I wanted my seaweed to go up, you can do that. Now, you can attach these on with foam tape so you can tuck your seaweed behind there, and you can do your seaweed last. Like, you don't have to have that part done yet. Or you can just put tape at the very bottom edge, and then it'll still be a little bit loose on the back, and so you can tuck your seaweed behind there. So it's up to you. Either that bottom layer with foam tape, so you can tuck your seaweed behind, or just put tape on the very bottom edge, which will still leave it, you know, a little bit loose on the top for you to stuck your foam tape or your seaweed underneath there. So anyways, I am just going to attach these two layers together first. So just attaching them together. Now these are going to attach, these are these two right here. And we'll get those out of the way. So they're going to attach, and again, you can do it, you know, lining right up with the bottom, and then you might have to cut your seaweed off, or you can go a little bit lower. And if you go, and I'm going to go lower, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put tape just on the bottom right here. And you can start with just one at a time if you want, or you can just do both. I think nuts to it, I'm just going to do both at the same time. And I'm going to go a little bit lower. And then you're going to trim from the back. So I have my waves attached on there, but now I do need to trim on the back just because I want them the height of our light blue paper. If you have a personal paper trimmer out, that's handy. I don't use I tend to hand cut a lot. Why, you ask? I don't know. Just because I do. So everybody has their own way of doing things. So there's not a right or a wrong way. There's just your way. So now we have that one prepped. This one I even have a little bit lower than I had up on there. And that's okay. Okay, so now I have my pieces all prepped. Now I am going to grab, and you do have extra waves. So if I wanted to put extra waves over here, I could. They just won't match. I'll have an upper one and a lower one. So, or you could do these two waves like that, and then even those two waves over on the other side. So it's up to you. You have extra waves to do with what you want. I am going to pull my card that I'm doing with you. So I had done this side, turned it over, and now I'm going to attach all of these pieces. I'm going to attach my dark blue ones first. So pull out your tape and just start taping. Now, like I said, the kits come in a 5-count blank in the 2 sizes. This one is the square size. I do not sell the dies that we are using today. Those are from Rubbernecker. But there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of dies out there. You might even have some waves. So the fish, now I do want to get to the fish as soon as I'm done taping, because I'm probably going to tape a little bit faster than some of you. I am going to talk about the fish briefly. So, because when we die cut the fish, they have little like embossed areas in them, and when we were die cutting them, the embossed areas weren't coming out. So we did take the fish and we put a piece of yellow behind the fish. So we had our yellow, then we had our white, and then we had our fish dye. and that extra layer of yellow helped push it up so some of the embossing showed up. Sometimes it shows up better than others, but that's what that yellow piece is in there for. And I told Becky, who was doing the die cutting for this one, I told her, I said, if the yellow die cuts all the way through, throw it in the kit and they'll have some extra yellow fish. If the yellow doesn't die cut all the way through, then you don't have to put it in. But I think she put it in everybody's kits, regardless of whether it cut or not. But that yellow piece is basically just an extra piece. You don't actually need it. Part of your homework for the day was to color your fish. So the fish are die cut in white, and then you're coloring them with markers. Along with your seaweed, or the coral, I die cut in both white and coral, so you could use the coral one if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can color your coral different colors. So the coral is die cut both out of the coral color and the white.
I lost you. I don't know what I did.
My mom lost me, so if you're asking questions,
You had no clue
she's
what
going to
I-
refresh.
I did that, and that's when I lost you.
Oh, well, now she's going to find me again.
I hope.
She hopes. So you're just going to set up your pieces just like this. And again, you have your picture that you can be following also. And for your decorative stuff, you can put all of your seaweed on later if you want. I'm going to see if I can get you back too, because I went to my website. So anyways, you should be this far where we have the inside and the outside done. You don't necessarily have to have all of your fish attached with your seaweed or your words. We're going to get it all put together, and then you can always work on that later too. Oh, Betty Stewart says she's missing the teal. I apologize for that, Betty. They just must have missed your pile when they were doing the teal. When they're have like 100 of them lined up, occasionally that will happen, so I do apologize, and I can definitely send you the teal pieces. But they are oops, wrong teal piece. The teal pieces are 3.62 by 2.75, and then 1.88 by 2.75. So 3.62 by 2.75, 1.88, 1.88 by 2.75. Anyways, so this is what you should be looking at. With your little word layer, you have a word layer. So for the outside right here, I do have a circle that's pre-done for you, which are those two. For your inside, which is this one, I do have different words. So if you don't want the how about lunch, you have an option of different words, and that's what this blue piece is for. So I did cut my how about lunch, and remember this one is on there upside down, and it kind of shows that in the picture. So when you're attaching your word layer for the inside, that one is upside down. We're still trying to get back to the page.
Yeah, one of a kind. One of a kind.
Virtual events.
I did. It doesn't bring it up. Ding, I don't know what I did. Oh, shoot.
So right now we have both of our sides done. And now we're just going to attach. So I'm going to put these to a side. And this is super easy. If you lay it in front of you like this, so you're looking at the inside, you're going to fold this little tape tab over, and you're going to put tape on top of your tape tab. So tape is going to go here. You don't need to mark it. I'm just showing you where your tape goes. I'm going to use, now this tape tab is I think 5/8 of an inch, and I am going to use my 1/2 inch tape so it's nice and strong. Just put tape on your tape tab. If you get any tape hanging out, you want to just kind of push it in, because otherwise you'll tape your box card shut. So again, you have your tape, you have it set up for the inside, so your tape tab is on your left. You're going to fold your tape tab in, and then you're just going to take and you're going to fold your card in half. So here, there's a score here, and there's a score here. This is the halfway score, and I'm just going to fold my card in half. So again, you have your inside of your box card, you have your tape tab on your left, fold it in, put tape on top of your tape tab. Do not put tape right here. Okay, you only put tape on one side of your tape tab. So tape right here, fold your card in half. Give it a little push, stand it up, and kind of just pop that open. So there's the front of your card. And then you can go ahead and fold down. So there's the base of your box. So again, we just folded it in half. After we folded it in half, we were looking at this. We kind of just popped it up, folded on all of our scores, folded down on our little flaps. And see, that's why our How About Lunch had to be upside down, because then it was upside down, and then whoop, now it's right side up. Now we need to, now we're going to go on, and we're getting there. We might not get this totally done with all of your excess pieces. So you might have to add your seaweed later. Now we have our two little, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And I'm only going to put my my waves on there to begin with. So it's up to you whether you want to decorate your tape tabs all the way, or your little inserts like this. Sometimes it's hard to get them in when you have all this stuff sticking up, so sometimes I like to just put my base layer on, which in this case would be my waves, and then I can adjust stuff to see how it's going to look. Or you can do it while they're out of the box, and then you just have to kind of use your fingers. It depends on how fat your fingers are and how they work, whether you can, stick everything in there. So it's what's easiest for you. There's no right and wrong. But we have our two little tape tabs, and we're going to cut our waves to the correct distance. I made them a little bit longer so you could offset your waves if you wanted to. So first you're going to cut your waves just to the distance of the center portion. These are little tape tabs, so you're cutting your waves the length of the middle portion. And again, I gave them to you a little bit long so you could offset them if you'd like. Okay, so we have that. Now the teal one, the dark teal, is in the back, so we want those waves up a little bit higher, and our other ones down a little bit lower. So I'm just going to attach those. Now this is not, these spaces right here is not totally correct, because I gave you a longer piece of paper so you could adjust that height-wise on your little insert. But this one I am going to raise up. I'm going to raise up my back one. I'm going to put tape. So I did just put tape along that top edge. And I am attaching my teal waves. So now I kind of have them you know, as high or as low as you want them. And then say I put this one here just for, now I'm not taping it, I'm just setting it there for visual. And then I can decide where I want my blue waves, my light blue waves. I can decide how high I want them. So I am going to put tape on this one.
Okay, question.
Question?
Is there a die to cut the A2 box? I thought the die was at the link provided for the A2 box, but it's only kits.
Oh, we do have the die to cut the A2 box. That is under the dies. I think it's on page 4 or 5. Melinda might be able to help us with that because she's pretty on that. Melinda, if you're watching and you get this, if you could link that, we would really appreciate it. So anyways, this is my front one, and I'm just setting it here for reference. So there's no tape on it. I'm just setting it there so I can see how high I want my light blue waves. How high or how low. Okay, so, and it doesn't matter if this is sticking off below because it's going to be inside the box. You're not going to see it. I am a little bit long on one side.
Penny Clark says hers is a hot mess. It's upside down and inside out, and she surrenders.
Oh, Penny, when you folded yours the last time, I think you, instead of being this way, you had to be this way. So I think all you needed to do was put this on the other side and fold your tape tab in. Because you had put yours on the wrong way. You had done yours backwards, and that's fine. Just turn it over and put your tape here and then fold, and then you should have your, everything should be right.
Melinda said she had to throw out the first one that she made, but it does get easier. If I can do it, you can do it. I'll try it.
So I know we're all doing it faster, but this diagram is really a good one. If you're repeating it another, save this even if you're doing a different design. Because you have the inside of your box and where the pieces go on the outside of your box. So just save that even if you're not doing the fish one, because that's a really good diagram for where you put your pieces, so you don't have to think about it every time. But yes, Penny, if you did yours backwards, when we went to folding our box, you're just going to do it exactly opposite.
I think she threw it out. So Lisa Hogan said, I missed a few minutes. How did you make the teal wave?
The teal wave, this was a die cut that came in your little kit. So that's a die.
If she's missing it? Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you're missing it, I will send it to you. Okay, just on this thread or message me. Sometimes messaging me works better. Now, for attaching them, like I mentioned, your seaweed can either pop up behind or it can pop up in front. It doesn't matter which side it goes on. I think on one of them, on the front one, I did it behind. On the back one, I did it in front. So there really is no right and wrong. And this is what I was showing you before. The diagram right here has 3 little inserts in it. So the diagram has 3 little inserts. So in our kits, you do get 3 little inserts. So look at this one. This is like a mega, lots of stuff on there. That's one of our kits. But it doesn't come with all the stuff. It's just the white. Otherwise, we'd be die cutting forever.
So it seems like lots of people are missing lots of parts.
Just message me if you're missing parts, and I will get them in the mail to you. They must have been having a bad day when they were getting these. Sorry.
The die for the wave is different than the one in the pictures.
Yes, the die for the waves, I mentioned that earlier. The die for the waves, both of them, is slightly different than the ones in the pictures. And that was just because I had a dull one and I needed to reorder one that was sharper. So you are going to put tape on top of your tape tabs, and we're going to start with the back one. Yes, the waves are slightly different, and you might have slightly different ones from a different company too. Doesn't really matter. And with the waves, you could actually save this piece and use, so this piece is the one that came out of here. So you could actually use the opposite of this one for something else too, if you wanted to. So anyways, I put tape on my tape tabs. Now when I'm inserting them in, when you have 3 of them, we only have 2, but when you have 3 of them, you can attach it all the way towards the back and then towards the next tab, and then they're equally spaced in here. So you would attach it, you know, towards the back. This would line up with the back of the card, and then this would line up with that one. But we just have 2, so you can space them however you want. I usually, and they do, this part of your tab is flush with the top of the box. So I have tape on both of them. I usually put one side in, flush, and I usually attach my first side pretty heavily. So attach it pretty good. This side, I try to line it up, but I just kind of push it down light, and then I take my box and I just kind of fold it. And then if you don't have it lined up straight, because you've only lightly attached it, it can like pop into place. And then I give my fingers a push to get both of those tabs entered. So again, one of them, I'm going to show you with the other one too. But one of them I get, and it's flush with this top. I attach it very heavy on one side, kind of very light on the other, and then I fold my card flat and it will pop into place. That's just how you line it. That's a little trick for lining it up so it's not like all crooked and wonky in there. So I'm going to show you with the other one. And for my kidding people's credit, this kit had a bazillion pieces in it. They were like, seriously, Sarah? Don't ever put this many pieces in a kit again.
Where is Dad?
Yeah, where's my dad? Because he would have loved doing this kit. Anyways, so again, I have tape on my tape tabs, and I'm lining the top of the tab up flush with the top of the box. And you can space this one however you want. So on the first side, put it in and give it a good push. I gave it a good push. The second one, I'm just kind of setting it where it needs to go or where I think it goes. And then I am going to fold my card flat. Now you can see it's buckling a little bit in there, but as I fold it flat, it kind of will jump into place. So again, attach one side very heavy, attach the other side very light, and then fold your box and it'll kind of jump into place. And then you'll have them attached very firmly. Now you can go ahead and, or you could have attached your seaweed ahead of time. I just find it, I like to look at where I'm actually putting my pieces. So for me, I like to be able to see where my pieces are going. And I'll use little bits of glue back here and then attach those in. Now a couple tricks. You can take, if you have very delicate things, you can take little toothpicks behind them to make sure they don't get bent. Or there is a piece of acetate in there, and the acetate is what I used to attach a fish swimming. So the fish is not attached to anything, the fish is just in midair attached to a piece of acetate. Now you can cut this acetate and use it multiple times. But if you have solid, delicate things, you can put like a toothpick behind them, or you could make them multiple layers thick, and that will firm, these aren't the same, or they should be the same. But anyways, that will firm them up. Yes, if you attach 2 die cuts together, that will firm them up. You have 2 sheets of little green seaweeds to use. You also have 2 sheets of coral. Now you can color your white coral, or you can just use your coral colored, or you can color your coral, darker orange or whatever color you want. And then I think I gave you plenty of greens and plenty of coral to attach. Then you also have your fish. And like I mentioned before, there are 2 sheets of fish. We put the fish in a separate little bag just because there's lots of fish pieces. The fins are all like these little separate pieces, depending on how much, and you might have yellow fish. You may or may not have yellow fish that are all pre-die cut through. Some of your yellow fish might not come out because this piece was just used as a backer. When we die cut the fish, we die cut them at the same time, because then that helped the embossing on your white fish pop through a little bit more. So that's the only reason we did the yellow fish. There is a yellow fish on the card, but I did color that one with a marker. But again, you may have extra yellow fish, and if you did, just attach them wherever you want. If your yellow fish aren't all the way die cut through, don't worry, because you don't actually need them. Some may be die cut, so you might be able to use some and not use others. But the yellow piece was just put behind, so when we die cut it, we actually put the yellow, the white, and then the dye down. And we die cut it all at one time. And that was to get some of our embossing to come through. So that is our fish. You're just going to attach, now you're going to go, how much time do I have? Oh, actually, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. But you're just going to go and you're going to attach your seaweed however you like, and fish. And then you're going to open it up and again attach your seaweed in here, some of your fish to the back of here, and you can even put fish on your acetate to make them look like they're actually swimming in the seaweed, or floating in
There
the
should have
ocean.
been acetate in the kit, right?
Yeah, there should be just a tiny, one small piece of acetate in your kit. And it's clear, so sometimes it gets lost when you're pulling everything out. So, thank you for joining me today. Sorry I don't have mine totally done. I will finish it now because I sent my sample off. So I will be saving this on our YouTube channel, so if you need reference later, but again, also keep your reference sheet because it's really good for when you're putting your next one together, for where to put your pieces, having your tape tabs on your right, your left, and what you're gonna see. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day with the rest of the vendors. Thank you for Brian and Carol for having me, and we will see you at the next craft along. Bye.
Okay. If you end this video now,